This is Metal Mike, and of course, this is the 80's Glam Metalcast. And in this episode, we talk to BulletBoys singer, the man, Marq Torien. We talk about the BulletBoys original lineup reunion. We look back at some of their classic albums. We hear what Marq Torien learned from Ted Templeman, and we look back at that killer 1988 tour with Winger and Cinderella. 1, 2, 4, just check it out. Well, Marq, welcome to the 80's Glam Metalcast. How you doing tonight, man?
Good, my brother. How are you guys doing?
Oh, man, doing awesome. So I know that COVID kind of put a monkey wrench into a lot of the live playing and all that kind of stuff. What have you been doing with yourself?
You know what? Just doing a lot of writing, done a lot of recording, and just, trying to, try to rise to the occasion and just try to keep a healthy perspective on everything. Thank goodness, we're well and very, very healthy. So, other than that, just trying to, we're all trying to look through our crystal balls right now to try to figure out when and where. So hopefully by the end of the year, we can start rocking again. So, fingers crossed,
Nice. So, studio work you're in with the original lineup of the BulletBoys, correct?
Yes.
Well, how's it going?
Well, it's going amazing, but it's very easy to do when we're under quarantine and quarantines and COVID-19 situation that we've never been in before. But we're trying to make the best of a bad situation and trying to do stuff that's uplifting. I don't know if you know, but we did perform on the Monsters of Rock cruise site. As one of the first virtual live shows on the internet.
Yes. How did that show go?
Oh, it was amazing. We were able to reach thousands and thousands of people, and we were actually the guinea pig of the whole thing. We were the first up, basically, and we had a lot to spurn the idea, and our manager, Larry Morand, was able to implement it and go out like a true genius and make some things happen. Now a lot of the bands are starting to do that at the same place where we did it over at Third Encore in LA. So it's becoming a little thing. So I love it, but I don't want that to be new normalcy, as they say. We got to get back to playing live for the people and get back to doing shows. But we also got to see where this thing pans out, and hopefully, God willing, fingers crossed that not actually hopefully, I'll retract from that. God willing, fingers crossed, at the end of the year, I see some places are popping up and live music starting to happen again.
Speaking of Monsters of Rock, I saw a lot of the clips that when you guys played on the cruise, and that sounded awesome. It was kind of lucky that cruise was able to sneak in before all this stuff happened.
Well, it wasn't even sneaking in. No one knew it was going to come.
That's true.
True. No one had a crystal ball. This is a virus that came from China that was perpetuated all around the world. No one, however it may be, no one could see that coming. But you're absolutely right. Thank God that we were able to do our thing, and everybody on there, came back safe and healthy, and other than maybe people being a little boat sick, hopefully. And but we had a blast, man. We're just so grateful that we were able to do that for everybody, and we'll see what happens. It like I say, fingers crossed that everything gets back, but it's going to be a new way of doing business.
Oh, sure.
We're going to have to be a lot more clean and sanitized and everything else, and we're just going to have to figure that out. But I'm sure that we will.
Oh yeah. How is the new material? What's it sounding like? Is you guys trying something different? It's got some classic BulletBoys. What's going on with the new material?
It's like, I always say this. Our band's like, are you familiar with the movie Fight Club?
No.
No?
No.
You've never seen Fight Club?
Oh, the movie Fight Club. No.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, but I haven't seen it. No.
Okay, so the movie Fight Club, basically, in the movie Fight Club, there's a saying, and we kind of abide by that saying. We're kind of like Fight Club. We don't talk about Fight Club. But I will share with you that there's a lot of stuff that's being thrown around musically. It's just getting into the right situation where we can all get together and play together. But yeah, we have a big surprise coming out for people here in the next couple months. So I can at least drop that out there. We've been cooking some stuff up in the BulletBoys kitchen, as they say. It's stuff sounding. This thing is sounding really amazing. It's going to be produced by one of our own family from back in the first record. So not to give away that much stuff, because when it comes out, I think people are going to be really excited. I just heard one of the final mixes actually last night, and there's just something when you get the four of us together that it has this sound, man, that I can't even express to you. Just a lot. This was done with a lot of love. We've been working on this pretty hard. So, yeah, I can't wait till people hear this. So we do have something that's coming down. We're working on new video, and hopefully get this thing out as quickly as we can. You know, at least hopefully by the latter part of summertime, man.
Does it feel like the old days, being back together?
You know, it's better than the old days, I think, because on one aspect, which is a large aspect, we've all grown as musicians, and we've grown in different ways. To be able to do what we're doing right now and getting what we're doing in different studios and not being able to all get together at the same time sometimes is remarkable, because you got to have a lot of trust factor in that as for individuals, and it seems like that is really coming in the chemistry is there. So that's what's really important, is the chemistry, and we definitely have the chemistry, and I don't think that ever left at all. I think it was just finding a way how to be able to love on each other in the now, and not completely be thinking about things that did or didn't happen, but loving on each other right now and really respecting each other for our musical prowess and what we can bring to the table, man.
Yeah, for sure. So
collectively.
Talking about going back in time, does it feel like it's been 32 years since the debut?
No, man, it really doesn't. It's really very, very trippy, and no, it does not at all. I think we get a little older, but our spirits are still very, very youthful. And my mind is held up, thank God. And I love our first record. Our first record was something that is still to this day is a remarkable record for what we did and what was going on at the time. It's just one of those records. It's one of those classics.
Now, there's a book out right now about Ted Templeman. And he was your producer, obviously, on the first album. What'd you learn from him? What are your thoughts thinking back about working with him?
Everything. Mm-hmm. I can't just say in a recording aspect, but everything now as getting older, and I always start with the way he basically taught us in the studio, the way he did things. I do the same things in studios. I really work a song as hard as you can. But there's a lot of elements of what he taught us there when we worked together, and I still use those. Just the way, the reading aspect of it, reading books, a lot of movies, old and new, to get perspectives from different things, to get ideas, and always keep it, for real, lyrically. I always try to keep it, especially like right now. I really think that we need definitely some music that's uplifting.
Oh, yeah.
BulletBoys is all about, driving down PCH with your top down of whatever ride you're in, and if you don't have a convertible, then you're definitely taking it to a body shop and cutting the top of the roof off of your car so you can have a convertible, slamming loud BulletBoys music, thinking about beautiful women, sexy people, got great looking dudes, people just having a great time, man. Just everybody congregating together, one love, and really enjoying, taking your mind off of what's going on right now in the world is what we're trying to do. So, I think that's what we as musicians in this band are really trying to do. We're trying to bring it with absolute LOVE. So, I'm hoping people will gravitate to it, whatever's going on. I love all the stuff that a lot of artists are coming out with right now, but we're definitely going to be kicking people with a donkey kick in the teeth with this one.
Sounds awesome, man. So when you think back, a lot of bands came out, with their debuts around when you did, 88, 89. I mean, I think that was a killer year for music. I mean, one of the best, in my opinion. Who did you like that came out around when you did? Was there some bands that you thought were really great? What'd you think?
Wow, that's a tough question. That were just like, I can't really, there's so many bands at that time that were coming out. I would say one band, because we got to tour with them, actually two bands. Well, one band, excuse me, would be Tesla.
Yep.
We got to play shows with Tesla, and they were real rock like we were. There was no tapes going on or whatever the hell what people were doing back then or what have you. It was all real deal, straight punk and roll type of stuff. And when I got to see them finally play, they just had a great energy. They were just hitting with everything. It's like, it's just a full on, souped up, hot rod. It was great. Another band that I got to see that I really, really loved and still do back then when we came out was the Black Crowes.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Black Crowes were, it was a struggle for them to come out with the type of music that they were coming out with when there was a lot of, 80s rock, whatever that was, or hair bands, whatever the people are calling it.
Yep.
But to be able to come out with that type of, with that type of attitude and swagger, their first record was amazing, and I still love it. I still listen to it. Definitely the Black Crowes. Definitely.
Yeah. Second concert I ever went to was Winger, BulletBoys, and Cinderella. Saw that concert locally, and I'm telling you, man, that show was a kick-ass show. You guys all kicked ass. And
yes, sir. Thank you.
And when you talk about that lineup, I tell you, I'll send a tweet out about that, or I'll put out a poster, a flyer from that era. People go apeshit, man. They love that tour. What was that tour like? What was it like playing with those guys every night?
Well, there's a lot of things that I actually can't talk about on the grounds that it may. But we were out of control, bro. We were definitely out of control of BulletBoys. It was every night was partying and carrying on like you could not imagine. We tried to take it to another level, but it was really, we were so blessed because it was such an amazing tour, especially being out with Tom and that's awesome. Cinderella. That was like, because we're, a year or two before that, we're sitting there watching them on MTV at Ronnie's dad's house, going, fuck, we're better than these guys. We can make this happen. Come on, man. Let's not wait. These guys can do it. We can do it. So, it's like, wow. And then you're seeing a play, and Tom was so, how would you say it? Oh my gosh, meticulous about what he sounded like, and I have a lot of respect for that.
Mm-hmm.
Took a long time during sound checks and stuff, but being so meticulous about the shows, it really paid off. Every night he was just on, sweating from head to toe. There was no night that, exhausted as he was, we were out there for so long with the Long Cold Winter Tour, but he always gave it his all. Mm-hmm. I mean, dude, he's dropping grand pianos from the ceiling, and
I remember that.
Snow's falling, and us four are sitting there just going like, wow, this is so rad. Wow, these guys are incredible. This is like an incredible show. So he put on an incredible show every night, man. And had a big crew.
Yeah.
He took out a lot of people. Winger was cool. They always performed really well, but we always, and the greatest thing of that tour, can I tell you, was maybe I didn't at the time have a lot of respect, not respect for it, but just didn't really want to do it because I was exhausted by the end of the evening because we were, town to town.
Yep.
And drinking on top of it. Would be at the end of the night, Tom would call everybody up and we'd do a couple songs together. So we did, we did a Skinner's tune and we did Jumping Jack Flash.
Mm-hmm.
So it was so much fun, man. And I remember coming and hugging Tom every night, and he was just he was dripping with sweat. And so that, to me, coming from the Motown school and the James Brown school, was just mass respect. So I know we would get a little crazy and honorary, and Tom would always, put a bridle in and put a saddle on us and go, "Fellas, I need to talk to you." And we always listen to him because he goes, "Listen, I love you guys. You're out of control, but listen, get some rest. We got some shows coming up, and I want you guys, well rested. We got a long tour ahead of us." So he was always teaching us really cool things, and I have so much respect for him. I mean, and him and Eric and Jeff, and especially our brother Fred Curry. We got really close with Fred out there. He's just an amazing, amazing man, and just a sweetheart. And Fred Curry is still, we have so much respect, and hold him up very, very high because he's Fred Curry. I remember I had a shirt that I would wear out there. I made a shirt that said "Fred Curry rules." So there was a lot of brotherhood going on out there for sure. But looking back, I think that was the thing of getting up together and playing all together was really rad.
Yeah, that was cool. And, I think people, love that lineup, too, because you figure you guys were all hot on MTV at that point. You know what I mean? You guys all had videos. So it wasn't like you had some lame act that you were waiting to be done with and then the headliner was coming on. You guys all were up. Like, for you and Winger, guys were just coming out real hot. Videos on MTV 24/7. So it was killer stuff, man. Good times.
So much fun.
So let's fast forward a little bit to by the time you get to Freakshow. So by the time Freakshow comes out, the musical climate's changing a little bit. What was the expectations? Did you guys think you could weather this, or what was the thought process going into Freakshow, and from a marketing standpoint?
We were, still to this day, we were very, very fortunate to have Ted with us, because he let us do what we wanted to do, basically. And we would go through songs, and he would be like, we'd have the A, B, and C list. So we'd always go through it, the pre-production, and we like to take risks. Definitely. We were not, I still think this, and please, this is coming from love. I'm not trying to say, when I say this, I'm not trying to be egotistical with it, but we were just a different band, man. We had rock and roll, punk, soul, R&B. We had all these different dynamics of what we did, the BulletBoys, and we were very street. Mm-hmm. And he always let us do what we wanted to do. So for us to come out with our first single, which would be the THC Groove, was kind of shocking to people.
Right.
They're just like, what is going on? But good, bad, or indifferent, you gotta chase your musical prowess. So we were always doing that and trying to push ourselves to do different stuff that wasn't like like other bands. So yeah, it was that creative process on that record was really awesome because we just did different things, and we were able to cover the great Tom Waits' "Hang On St. Christopher." Mm-hmm. Was just amazing. It was Ted Templeman's idea for us to do it. In fact, I was just talking to Lonnie on the phone about this today. We weren't really up for it. We were, we loved Tom Waits, but we didn't know if it was going to work for us. But and Ted has this, he's so brilliant. He had this idea, and he could hear it in his head how it would be when we finished. So when we finished, it was just like, wow, this is really special. Yeah. It's not like anything that anybody was doing at the time. The great Bobby LeConte played congas, I believe, on it, from the Doobie Brothers. Rest in peace. Jimmy, Ted played a lot of the percussion, some of the percussion stuff. So we had this thing move. It was so sexy and so rad that I didn't really hear anybody really doing that at that time. Everybody was, pretty much still in that vein of, glam type of stuff. But we were switching gears, and we always did that, but still stayed true to what it was. And Freakshow was just basically, to put a band from the inner city and to come out, and we signed and to come out and have a huge hit record And then we saw a lot of things that we never thought we would see. So it was always a freak show to us, like some of us go, there comes a freak show. And so that's why we named that. And the cover of it, everything, kind of try to, the person that we had do the cover would try to put in perspective of what we would tell this artist to put in as far as faces that we saw and stuff. And it came out great. So it was definitely a darker, broodier record, which is rad, and which we were just dying to do. And we ended up coming out with some really great stuff on that record. So I love that record.
Yeah, and luckily you guys hung on for 3 records with Warner Brothers. How did that end with Warner Brothers? Was it nice or was it ugly?
No, it wasn't ugly. I think it was there was all good things come to an end.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
Sure.
I think that we were doing a lot of soul searching in the band, also the 4 of us and management, and sometimes it comes to an apex of something where you have to either sink or swim. So there was a lot of new music coming in at the time. People's tastes, started fluctuating, and it is what it is, and it was what it was. But I don't know. There was no ill will. I have no ill will for anybody. I have nothing but praise and humility for being signed with the greatest record label at the time, which is Warner Brothers Records, by Mo Austin, Lenny Waronker, Ted Templeman, Roberta Peterson. Those are the people, and Russ Irad, the people that we work with there, and it was a family, man. It was an amazing feeling walking into Warner Brothers Records and knowing that you're part of a family, and that creatively they would let you do what you wanted to do. So we were in the perfect house for that.
I want to say last week I interviewed Steven Sharow. He was the lead singer for the band Kick Tracy, and he talked.
Okay.
Yeah, he talked about trying out or jamming or whatever with Motley Crue when Vince left. And he told me something that I've never heard before, and maybe you can elaborate if there's anything going on with it. But he said there was 4 guys that played with Motley Crue and that kind of jammed to see if the fit was right. It was him, John Corabi, Sebastian Bach, and he said you. Is there any truth to that? I never heard that before.
That's true.
That's true? Okay, so you did jam with the boys.
No, I never jammed with them.
Oh, you never did?
With
Okay.
Mickey. I said I never jammed, even though we were brothers, we never jammed together, but I worked with Mickey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was some talk that, maybe.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Cool, man. I had never heard that before.
Yeah. No, I love Mickey. We've always been really close. Me, myself, Mickey, Vince, Tommy, and Nick, everybody. I mean, their camp is amazing. I love them to death. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I was looked at as being the new lead singer for Motley.
Nice.
For a minute too, and a couple other were also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I never thought about that before, but then once he told me that and I started letting it sink in, I was like, whoa, that would have been pretty cool, man. It would have worked.
Oh no, it's an honor to be even thought about something like that. But we were deep in the BulletBoys and pretty very well semi-successful at the time. So it would be a really hard thing to do. Plus, here's another thing. Vince Neil is Motley Crue. That's my brother.
Yeah.
It just felt weird to me. It didn't feel right. I've known Vince for a really long time and have loved him and still love him very, very much. And at the time, it just didn't seem right. It would be great musically, but it just wasn't the right thing. Mm-hmm. I think I was probably really too close with Vince and all the guys, and it just seemed like not the right thing.
I think after he told me that, the first song that came into my head trying to picture you sing was Livewire, and I was like, man, I bet you Mark sounds killer doing Livewire.
Oh, I love that song. Oh, that's so rad. Thank you.
I could hear it. Well, that's cool, man. I'm glad that you humored me with that one because, like I said, I never heard that before. Even more recently, as I heard Sebastian Bach, but that was more in recent times when that that was said before. So who knows? It was a crazy time. I would have loved to see Motley Crue do what Van Halen did. You know what I mean? And get a singer in place and just kind of continue on. Don't get me wrong. Vince Neil is always going to be my favorite member. but I mean, I don't think anybody wanted to see Motley Crue fail. You know what I mean?
No. I don't think Motley's ever failed. I love John Corabi with all my heart. Actually, I've known John Corabi for so many years, and actually was an integral part of putting him together with John Aldretti for the Scream.
Okay.
And the Scream opened up for BulletBoys for the Freakshow tour. But no, John, I love that record. I think that's an incredible record. I think they were going into a new direction.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the fans, really gave it a shot. But the love that was put into that record and the time and, John's singing is exceptional and the writing is exceptional on that record. And I dig that. It's just a different thing.
Yeah.
Maybe, it should have been called another thing, like another project,
Yep.
But, it's Nicky's brainchild. So, it was all up to Leader 6, for that direction, for real.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's an amazing album, and it's people like it a lot more now today than at the time. And I think last thing I'll say about it is that I think you just hit a double whammy of you're changing a key member, you're hitting a musical trend change, and it was just that's a tough break. That's
right. All. Yeah, man. But other bands have done it, but I just I don't know. I dig that record, but there's no replacing Vince Neil.
Right.
There just isn't.
No,
he's an icon and a complete rock star and ridiculous vocalist. You can't replace him.
Definitely. Well, hey, man, this has been a great conversation. What do you want to say to all your fans out there in closing?
That I love them so much they have no idea. That I love them so hard, and that please keep the faith, stay healthy out there, stay frosty, and know that their friendly neighborhood BulletBoys are going to be giving them something very, very soon. I promise you that.
Awesome. Mark, I can't wait to hear the new music, man. Good luck with everything you're doing.
Brother, thank you so much for having me on, and I apologize if I was too long-winded, but thank you for the great questions and for inviting me on, and that was a great question from Motley, man. Absolutely.
Dude, I never would have thought of it if I didn't do the interview last week. so I got to thank Steven for bringing that up. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell Steven thank you. Tell him I said hello to him also.
Definitely, man.
Yeah, I just want to send out love to Mick, to Jimmy, and to Lonnie. I love you guys so much, and it's just been incredible doing what we're doing right now. And love to all their families and health and healing light to everybody out there. And let's beat this virus down so we can start rocking and rolling again, y'all.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, stay healthy, Mark. God bless you.
God bless you too, my brother. Stay healthy.
Yep.
Thank you.
Take care, man.
Well, that was a great episode with Mark. So, hey, I know a lot of you find this show from Facebook, from rock websites, from wherever. You know what you should do? If you're new to joining us, become a subscriber. Then you won't miss any of the upcoming episodes. Keep rocking, everybody. Rock on!